Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 39 locations throughout the entire New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. What a difference a week makes where the New Orleans Saints are concerned. From the crescendo of the best performance of the year against the Rams to one of the worst performances of the year, if not the worst, against the Detroit Lions. Lenny, I think it's indicative of a team that simply can't get over the hump, that it's a team that's mediocre. As I wrote at SportsNOLA.com, it's not a bad team. It's just not a good team, and that's the worst place to be.
It's an inconsistent team, and I think that was very evident over what we saw the last 2 weeks. And the other thing is, these guys are human beings. They're not robots. I think so much emotionally, from a number of points of view, was invested into that Rams game. And, like Sean Payton said afterwards, it looked like a sluggish team that was playing on a short week. Well, when you invest emotionally into one thing, it's hard to bounce back and continue to do that the following week. And you call it what you want, but that's the way I see it. And it was certainly when you had to have a good performance. And look, the Falcons lost. It was set up for you if you win the game that suddenly you are in control of your destiny. And the Saints could not take advantage of that situation.
No, and they were poor in virtually every phase. They did have one good punt return by Tommy Lee Lewis, but otherwise kickoff returns weren't any good again. Will Lutz kicks another low ball that gets tipped. Defensively, they can't get off the field. Their secondary was totally exposed, as I wrote as well at SportsNOLA.com. And then, of course, their offense was poor, uncharacteristically poor. And we know from experience that when this offense doesn't perform well, the Saints don't win.
No, and, point was made through the broadcast and on social media as well. What Terrell Austin, the Detroit defensive coordinator, did to the Saints on Sunday, I think a lot of people are going to be watching that and possibly using it as a blueprint on how to try to defend the Saints going forward. It's the type of thing, in fact, it was brought up as, hey, could this be a head coaching audition for him? He's one of those really good coordinators that's, just one step away from being a head coach somewhere. And obviously with the year the Lions are having, he could be a guy that will get some consideration out there when the next round of head coaches are hired after the season.
And the Lions played very good defense, covered receivers. Joe Cooter's done a really good job offensively with the Lions and with Matt Stafford, who's clearly matured as a quarterback and really played well. And as for the Saints, now they have to run the table to have any chance. I said that last week, but certainly now it's applicable completely, and even that might not be good enough, and their odds of doing so are not very good based upon the way they've been up and down. As you mentioned, Tampa Bay up next, and that's a team that's playing good football.
They are, and came back to win at San Diego. I believe they've won 4 in a row now, and all of a sudden they find themselves tied for first. NFL thinks enough of them. They flexed their game with Dallas in 2 weeks into prime time. So when's the last time you saw the Bucs on Sunday Night Football? Think about that. So, good for them. Saints and the Bucs twice in a 13-day span coming up beginning on Sunday. Obviously, like you say, it's not over, but there is no more margin for error. The Saints have to run the table, get to 9-7. Someone's going to have to beat the Falcons along the way, other than the Saints, to help them out.
Well, the Pelicans lost at Oklahoma City last night. That's not the story. The story apparently is Anthony Davis and what his health is at this stage, because apparently he hurt his foot and we don't know the severity of it. And if anything keeps him out for any period of time, forget about it.
Well, exactly. I mean, right now when you're essentially a 1 to 1.5 man team, depending on who else might show up at some point for any short period of time, you've got to have Anthony Davis. It's that simple. You saw a team in Oklahoma City on Sunday night that's essentially a one-man team in Russell Westbrook, and he's been unbelievable this year.
They have better pieces than the Pelicans.
No doubt they do. They have better supporting pieces. There's no question about that. But when you've got that kind of leading person, one, you got to give him support, and two, you got to keep him healthy. And A and B, if you will, are not happening right now.
No question about it. The bowl game picture is now clear. Louisiana Tech is going to play Navy in the Armed Forces Bowl. Louisiana Lafayette's coming to New Orleans to play Southern Mississippi in the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, which will be exciting to see how that unfolds. Obviously, the All-State Sugar Bowl is set now as well, as Auburn will play Oklahoma. And, of course, the LSU Tigers will face a high-powered offense in Louisville in the Citrus Bowl. So we're looking forward to all that. And also a mention for Grambling, and kudos for winning the SWAC championship, beating Alcorn State.
Right, and they've got one more game to play as well against the MEAC champion in the Celebration Bowl. But Well, not a lot of big surprises there. I think the biggest decision that had to get made, outside, of course, of the top four and how that was going to play out, I think that was a lot of drama, as it were, because they stuck with Washington in the fourth spot, and Washington didn't deserve to move out of the fourth spot the way they beat Colorado. So that held as it should have held in terms of the top four. But the biggest decision I think that had to get made was Florida State or Louisville. Who's going to the Orange Bowl to fill that ACC second spot, and then who's going to end up in the Citrus Bowl playing LSU, as it were, and Florida State's going to the Orange Bowl. Louisville, with the likely Heisman Trophy winner, Lamar Jackson, will take on LSU.
Yeah, great test for Dave Aranda, and we'll see how the LSU offense performs against Louisville, a defense they should be able to have some level of success against. Look forward to seeing what happens. Of course, on the high school level, 4 champions were crowned in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, the last one at 12:53 in the morning. This past Saturday morning, none of the games were close. That's unfortunate. And now the non-select championships come up this weekend with 5 games, 2 on Friday, 3 on Saturday. And by the way, the 3 on Saturday will be broadcasting live on WGSO 990 AM.
Saturday is just a very juicy card of games with Lutcher and Amite in the 3A. How long have we been anticipating Neville and Carr for the 4A title? It has come to pass, although I got to tell you, McDonough 35 really hung with Carr for the better part of 3 quarters in that game before Carr finally drew away late. And then congratulations to Landry Walker. They are in the Dome to take on West Monroe in the 5A game, and that should be that's going to be a great card of action on Saturday, no question.
It will be indeed. We sure look forward to it. Don't miss SportsNOLA TV Monday night 6 p.m. with Ricky Jackson, Brian Alley Walsh, and I talking about a lot of these things, among other topics. We hope you will. Lenny, have a great week.
We'll see you later this week.
That's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 39 locations throughout southeast Louisiana and into the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. He's Lenny. I'm Kenny. Have a great week, and God bless you.